Hey kiddo, this is Gershon here. We're going to go through today's questions for math. Don't forget to do your cubes and you can check your work alongside of us. So the question says the shape below is shaded to represent a fraction. Which shape is shaded to represent a fraction equivalent to the shape shown above? So again, equivalent meaning equal. With a problem like this, I like to write down the fraction for the shaded area. So we have two pieces here. So one is shaded, so we're going to have 1/2. Now, if we're talking about equivalent fractions or comparing fractions, we know we can cross multiply. We know we can look at numerators and denominators. We know we can draw number lines. The easiest way, honestly, is to cross multiply. So for each of our choices, A, B, C, and D, we're going to write the fraction and we can cross multiply. Or we can use some of the strategies that we know. So with A, I'm going to count. I have one shaded piece out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1/8. Now this is an interesting one because I could just cross multiply, but I could also look at my numerators. You have one piece in both brownie pans. We know that the bigger the denominator, the smaller the pieces, because that means more cuts. So we automatically know that 1/2 is bigger than 1/8. I could also check that by cross multiplying. So this is not equivalent. So I come to my next one. I'm going to write my fraction. I have 1/4. Again, same numerator, bigger denominator on this side, meaning that the pieces are smaller. You're still getting one piece is shaded, so 1/2 is bigger, is greater. I can still cross multiply. I see that 1/2 is greater. C, I have 2/4, 1/2, I can cross multiply. I see that both answers are the same, so that is equal. Let's double check with my last one. If I know 2/4 is equal to 1/4, then 3/4 can't be equal, but we'll still check anyways. And we see that 3/4 is bigger, so not equivalent. Let's go ahead and go to our next question. It says a store manager orders shirts from their warehouse. The shirts are packed into boxes and sent to the store, as described below. Boxes, kiddos, normally means something with multiplication and division. You're talking about groups of things. So 81 shirts are ordered. Each shipping box holds 9 shirts. How many shipping boxes are needed for all the shirts ordered? So they want to know how many groups do we need. So we have 81 shirts total. That's our total. We can't get a number bigger than 81. We have to divide them into groups of 9 to find out how many boxes we would need. So if you don't know your 9's facts, you can always drop your 9 lines and find out where 81 would fall. We see that it's on the 9th line. Most of you already know the 9's fact. You can also work backwards. 9 times 9 equals 81 to look at it as multiplication. So you would need 9 boxes. The store manager would need 9 boxes. Moving on to our last question. Lisa used unit squares to find the area of the rectangle shown below. What is the area in square units of the rectangle? We know area is length times width. So we're going to go ahead and we're very lucky with this problem because it's set up as an array. Also, you could just count the tiles if you wanted, but we're good enough to use multiplication here. So we have our length and we have our width. So your 6 times 4 is going to give you your area. If you don't know 6 times 4, drop your 9 lines. You can count by 4s or 6s. I'll do 6 4 times. 6, 12, 18, 24. So your area would be 24 square units. They don't even have the units here, but we can just circle C. All right, kiddos, go ahead and check your work, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Bye.